Hey everybody, one of Wiisdom here. Long time no pool table. It is currently Sunday, June 11th, and it is a little after 6:30. Very early for me to be doing anything. I would typically be outside, but it's like 100 degrees, and this is E3 week, so I just witnessed the Xbox E3 FanFest briefing conference news extravaganza on Mixer, which me and my amazing internet, if you watched it, you're supposed to get all this free stuff sent to your Xbox Live account, right? And I had it on, and the music was awesome, the little intro thing they did, and then right as it starts, guess who gets disconnected? That would be this guy. And they, I think, might have severely underestimated the amount of people who would be viewing. Many probably had no idea there were free things, and then I'm sure if word got out, that rapidly caused things to get worse. But I'm hopeful that whatever it's supposed to be that you get, I still get. Like every once in a while it would reconnect. Sometimes my account would disconnect. I don't know what was going on. I know I missed out on a ton of Sparks and XP because that thing was like, what, an hour and a half plus long. That said, pretty cool stuff there. They're sort of getting things kicked off. EA was yesterday. I missed all that. I was on the road acquiring some awesome things here that we're about to talk about. But in that press conference, I will tell you, and I'm probably in a minority here, but hey, if you like what I do here, you like the games I play, you like my play style, you might follow suit. There's a game called Super Lucky's Tale. When it first happened, I was thinking it was like Tails, you know, like Sonic and Tails. You could just see like little snippets of the character. I'm very intrigued by that. It looks an awful lot. It's basically like an old school platforming game with somewhat modern visuals. It looks an awful lot to me like Skylanders Spyro's Adventure levels, right? The way it's designed with platforms and bounce pads and things. It brought, to my mind, Skylanders. It brought Mario. It brought Sonic and Tails games. And so those are three things that I really like. I'm pretty excited about that. And then I was investigating it on Twitter, and I found out that the studio is in McKinney, Texas. That's right, Texas, the best state. The best country. People always ask me when I go to E3, what country are you from? It's like, what is this? Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, you speak? Strange one. What country? That literally questions I had asked multiple times. City bus transit things out there, and then just like walking the streets trying to get back to a hotel or see an ocean for the first time. What country are you from? It's like, and it's said with like what I would consider to be a European accent, and I just started answering people. The country I am from is Texas. Geographically, that's incorrect because this is a state, not a country, but hey, what can you do? It's my job when I travel abroad, and within the United States apparently, to extend the legacy and the lore of the Lone Star State, and that is indeed what I do. So, speaking of that, travel I had to do. If you didn't know, the number one question I've been getting for over a month now, hey, you got Tidepool and Blaster-Tron yet? No, every video I've done, Skylanders related, even sometimes in Minecraft I would mention it. I'd get questions there if I was just uploading. Is that camera angle slightly better? It might be, because guess what just died? The batteries. I fully charged these last night because I knew I would be doing this today, but nonetheless, over a month now, and again, even in Minecraft videos, whatever I upload, someone either hits me up on Twitter or sends me a Facebook message or leaves a comment like, hey, you got Tidepool yet? You seen Blaster-Tron? The answer was always no. I literally, until yesterday, I never laid eyes in person upon either one of these figures. And here's the story. If you recall, this was over a month ago now. In the US, we were finally supposed to get these at Target Sunday, May 7th. Catch being, virtually everyone that went to Target to try and get these things was getting them the week before. Like, not a week before, but, you know, like that week. Monday, Tuesday, leading up to the Sunday. And so, you know, I was running my errands. It coincided with when I would be there. I went in there, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, hoping I would find them on the shelf just like everyone else. They were not register locked and not held back for the street date or the sales circular. Nothing. So I'm like, oh, no big deal, you know, it'll probably come out Sunday, I can probably pick them up. And I say that because Target had been doing well. They were the only place I could find Chain Reaction, and they had another one that stayed there for quite some time. So I feel like maybe even the scalper rush has gone by the wayside, at least with some of these new release figures. But long story short, something happened that Saturday, and I wound up in town, and I was like, screw it. I'm sure they've gotten them in, and they've probably put them on the pegs, right? No. So the next week I had to run errands. I think work over the lunch hour. I was like, hey, Target's kind of right here. I'm just going to run in, sacrifice my lunch and well-being in the pursuit of happiness, or Skylanders in this case. Nothing. And, I run my errands, go to town like every other week, basically, because I try to avoid crowds and people as much as humanly possible on my end. And I thought, well, hey, they've had plenty of time to get them in. My Target has never had these. I've had employees check for them. I think that Saturday, the time I was in, and then the next week I was in when they should have officially had them with a sales circular. Nothing existed. They don't have them in the back. And then what I do with Target, you're able to check stock online, right? And so I would come in, and I could have ordered them online. There was one rare moment in time where Blaster-Tron was in stock, and I was like, screw that, I'm not paying freight. And they literally, my Target has never had them. I think P-Rhyme mentioned his Target never got them either. So Target typically starts on the East Coast like Florida and works its way outward, I think, is their typical distribution pattern. And somehow I was just the flyover state that they skipped out on. So that's that. That said, I was in GameStop yesterday. It was their pro day, so I walk in, it's like, hey bro, you ready to level up today? It's like, no, nothing that I need is on sale. So I guess it was a good deal, but again, nothing I needed was available to me. They had one of each. They've totally moved the Skylanders. It's like this tiny square end cap thing that spins with multiple other products on it. But nonetheless, I was able to finally ascertain Blaster-Tron and Tidepool. I'm personally more excited about Blaster-Tron, but it seems like the overwhelming consensus from viewers is you wanted to see Tidepool first, so that's what we're going to do. About 2 weeks ago, Ethan up in Canada had reported he found them at a Walmart. I believe they've hit Walmarts here. My local Walmart is not a super Walmart, even though most of them are now. And they virtually have nothing in the way of Skylanders. And so again, if you're not in the megalopolis where it's like, oh, I had to drive to the other Best Buy, you're kind of up a creek, okay? So if you didn't know, I'm trying to avoid giving Amazon business. To the best of my knowledge, they haven't had them at retail prices anyway, just scalpers. But let's get started here and check out Miss Tidepool. Now, in classic GameStop fashion, if you're a collector, they put their annoying price sticker here. But it typically usually comes off. That said, Master Tidepool, if you did not know, it's a she. She is a she. Her is a she, however you want to word that. She is a Quickshot, and her slogan is "In a League of My Own." She looks pretty good, I've got to say, in the packaging. Keep in mind, there was only one of these, period, and it's the first I've seen either of them, and people have been incessantly asking about them, so beggars can't be choosers. More on that shortly. There's the side profile shot. Here she is on the flip side. In your hand on the portal in the game, it is that simple top box shot art, which is so cool. Such a neat thing they did for Imaginators. Very... I don't know, I think she's got a fitting look for an aquamarine. You'll learn more about that in her bio. There's Kingpin featured, which is cool since she shares the water element ties. Master Tidepool. Sensei Skylanders unleash almighty Sky Chi powers, which I'll have to reacquire once I reset her, which is a fantastic feature, said no one ever. Unlock unique gear and weapons for your Imaginator Skylanders. And then right here, they're pushing Skylanders Academy. I'm also apparently one of the only people in this country that doesn't do Netflix, so I've seen one episode of it, I guess the first episode. I enjoyed it, but I'm not going to go sign up for Netflix to see the rest of it. So when you release it or make it streamable, that's on a non-pay site like Netflix, that's what I'll do. Bad Juju Master Flarewolf Graveclobber, who's fantastic, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Master Buckshot, Heartbreaker, broke my heart. Again, if I could ever find another one of him on sale, I would custom paint my version of Heartbreaker Buckshot. So, Water Life and Undead Creation Crystals also featured. It's been a while since we've opened this up. I should mention, and you're like, why is Dr. K here? Well, he's a phenomenal guy, number one, but number two, he is a Quickshot. If you didn't know, if you haven't thought about it in a while, try to think of all the Quickshot Skylanders. I'll give you a little time. Have you come up with anything? Okay, you know Crankcase, right? And you're like, wait, he just said Tidepool was a Quickshot. Who else is it, man? We've got all these senseis. I've made some Imaginators. I'll think of them eventually, right? No, stop. You're straining yourself. You're done. This is it. This is Quickshot number 1, Dr. Crankcase, just by way of release. This is number 2 right here, Master Tidepool. That is it. We have these 2 Quickshots. If you're a Quickshot fan, this is where you need to go because they're your only 2 options, literally. So hopefully they deliver. I do love that color of blue. I also love the water element logo being emblazoned on the packaging. Let's go ahead again and get her out. How long has it been since we've unboxed someone? It's been a while. Now, I know the next question I'll get is, hey, have you seen the Lost Imaginite Mines? No. I've seen people ordering it online that live in Europe and Australia, but me personally, over here in Texas, in America, no. So, we might be a little rusty here, but what we want to do, I like to identify points of wheat. Ooh, seaweed hair, styling girl. Let's go ahead. There we go. That's what I like to do, is work the back plastic, then come in, and the base is typically, get out of my life, plastic, much easier to work with. So this is it. This is the figure, and these batteries are going to die phenomenal. I get like, what, 4 minutes out of each set? I've got to say, seeing the back of the hair, that pop of color is much, much appreciated, and I do mean the seaweed green. It's got a nice, interesting texture to it. I won't say that. But that's, I feel like, what she needed. Had that have been black hair or a darker blue, I don't think it would have looked as good. So I like the contrast there. Very well done. The base, classic water element blue, looks phenomenal. On the flip side, you've got the water element logo, Activision, EO179A, I believe, A, Canada, yeah, Canada, and the Quickshot logo. So, case in point, comparing her to Dr. Crankcase. Again, these are your 2 Quickshots. I hope you enjoy them. Here they are, side by side, just because we can and no one else does. Now, water element, this is also important. Not only does Master Tidepool complete our Quickshot Sensei collection, but she completes the water element collection. So, coming in from the starter pack, we've got Master Kingpin. Then we have Dark Kingpin from the Dark Starter Pack, which works out very well because I don't have to reset them for Skylanders research. And then we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the elemental switcher, Graveclobber, who again, fantastic figure, fantastic in-game. Highly, highly recommend you pick this guy up if you have not. So, Sensei Quickshot collection complete. Water Element Senseis complete. Tidepool, we're going to introduce her, we're going to upgrade her, we're going to use her in the game, we're going to have a good time. Let's, I guess, just start with the figure here. So, Quickshot, she's conveniently featuring, as you see with Dr. K, her 2 pistols. I'm not quite sure on the official terminology yet since we haven't played her. Very nice that they popped for the silver, not only on the handle of the gun, but also sort of the wraparound, I guess, dividing the barrel from the rifle portion. Her pants, oh, and the arm too. You couldn't really see that in the packaging very well. This is a great color. It's sort of like a copper penny sort of a look, a little bit of metallic to it. The scales are fantastic. She's got her gold Sensei belt, sort of a ruffled look. It's almost like a spider web. I think you can pick up on that. I like that because it's reminiscent to me of like a seashell. That's sort of a texture that you see. If that makes any sense at all, it may not. And then right here, you've sort of got like a barnacle vibe, sort of like a scruffier seashell, not sand smooth, if that makes any sense. I live in the plains, man. I'm miles from any ocean, so cut me some slack. But seaweed or algae hair, fantastic choice in my opinion. Again, the pop of color really does work. She's got a pretty cool grin on her face. Looks like she's aware that she's severely outnumbered, but also in the back of her mind, you know, she's about to make a highlight reel out of these clowns. So, cool setup there. Similar netting here, sort of the spiderweb seashell striations. Again, insert your own terminology to make it better for you. Boom, love that trick. Looks really good. What I might have done, if we could have gotten like a little, I feel like even a, you know, seashells are like a sandy color or pink, that the ones I remember that I've seen. I feel like that might have even worked for the helmet. I guess you could leave the boots and the gloves black. But they've got just like this rough sea. Again, like I said, I live in the grasslands, not the ocean biome, but it's a rough barnacle-like texture. I think it does work. My only complaint, and I don't know that you'll be able to see it very well, I'm not saying she's not an attractive lady, although personally I would take Roller Brawl, but hey, it's just aggro and chaos. The paint is a little bit sloppy on the face. Again, I don't have another way of picking up a second Tidepool because this is the first one I've ever seen, and they only had one, so I couldn't compare and contrast. A lot of times on this, it's typical, you know, you'll see it like across the production run, but you can usually, if you've got like say 5 or 6, you can find one that looks better than the others, or one that looks really bad, and the others are all kind of close together in terms of quality. I don't know that you're seeing it super great. If you were here in person, you could, but it's sort of on this eye. There's sort of like a silver streak, like someone just slipped with a brush or something, or the machine, I suppose, did. And I guess that's the glaring weakness, and then that kind of affected the eye. I don't feel like this eye has the same paint coverage as that eye. You can kind of see what I'm talking about there, but that's just something as a collector, as someone that's somewhat of a perfectionist, I like to point these things out. So in the event that you don't have Tidepool, I don't know if anyone else doesn't have Tidepool aside from me, but if you don't, maybe you're waiting for a sale, maybe you're in the same boat as me, you could just never find her or Blaster-Tron. Be on the lookout for that. If you've got a couple available to you, pull them all off the shelves, get them off the pegs, and see if you can find one that maybe doesn't have that same paint flaw. But we'll just call it character. It's like a battle scar. So, according to the website, which doesn't translate very well, her stats: power 200 out of 350, defense or armor 200 out of 350, speed and agility, this is exciting, 340 out of 350, and luck 210 out of 350. Now, pretty cool bio here. I'm not sure, whoa, a lot of you will remember it. I'm a recollector there. Oh, fantastic tablet. Just spin that around. Long before she became a sensei, Tidepool was an undercover agent, yes, for a top secret organization known as the Aquamarines. Okay, aquamarine is a fantastic color. Boots, gloves, helmet, make those aquamarine, winner. You might have had to have tweaked this, but I feel like this is more of like a saltwater sky blue hybrid type of a color. But I think you could have done some cool things with either pinks or blue-green colors here. On basically, again, boots, gloves, and helmet that would have really, really popped, in my opinion. However, one day she was betrayed by her superiors, who were part of an even more top-secret organization intent on destroying Skylands. Using her spy training, Tidepool made it her personal mission to seek out every member of this evil shadow group and bring them to justice. This, of course, did not go unnoticed by Master Eon, who felt that someone of her caliber would be perfect to train new Skylanders as a sensei of the gunslinger class. Really? Interesting. However, Tidepool was not easily convinced that she could even trust Eon and the Skylanders after being deceived by her last organization. To earn her trust, she requested that everyone pass a truth test she would conduct. Thankfully, all the members of the Skylanders Academy passed with flying colors, except for Flynn, who insisted that he was 50% Mabu and 50% enchilada sauce, which, truth be told, might not be too far off. Tidepool felt that he was 100% meathead. So, it is Quickshot, right? I prefer Gunslinger personally, but it's been so long. I mean, who can honestly remember? Anyway, this is Tidepool. That is her background story. And oh yes, I can't forget one of our new features for the unboxings, the slogan. So are you ready for this?
In a league of my own.
Could you hear it over the air conditioner that's now functional?
In a league of my own.
If you didn't hear that, it was basically like this. In a league of my own. So, this is Tidepool. I've got to say, she looks pretty good. The camera doesn't really do justice, probably particularly with the pool table backdrop. I think just having my hand there provides the contrast you need. That's just like, it's for whatever reason, a lot of times if there's a flaw, like if there was a streak of gold over here, it's like, it doesn't matter. But with that, I just feel like the eye is drawn to it. I don't know why, that's just my take. But, like I said, personally, I feel like I would be more drawn to Blaster-Tron because I've got a history with him and he's a knight. Future of Skylands type of a thing, Wolfgang tie-ins. But from what I saw, that seemed to be the trend, and then boom, it was just no. Everyone wanted to see Tidepool first, so always willing to help you out when I can. I chose to unbox her first. We'll then do Blaster-Tron. We'll introduce her. We'll upgrade her. Tidepool will go first, essentially, is what I'm saying, just because, again, that's what y'all seem to want. So I think we covered everything. I will say this. There is a third Quickshot. It is right here. If you're like, wait, that's a life creation crystal, dude. What's wrong with you? Nope, this is Reset Me. Reset Me is a troll. I made him horribly. So I would be able to reset him. Sir Skellington, the first ever Imaginator I've made, love the guy. I don't have it in me to reset him. I was like, oh yeah, we'll probably get some parts I'll like better. I can't bring myself to do it. There's too many good times, too many chompies we've smashed. The sentimental value is high. Reset Me, I specifically built with just a random hodgepodge of junk. So I would have no ill will when I reset the guy, because I wanted to make a Quickshot Banana Man. You know, there's like the banana head. I was going to make a Quickshot Banana guy. And so I created Reset Me with the intent of resetting him when I had all the parts to make the Quickshot Banana guy. And if you followed my streams, which I was doing primarily Twitch at the time, which when I started streaming on YouTube for the first time a couple of months ago, everyone was like, oh, I never knew you streamed. And that's when I face-palmed really hard and just slammed my head into my desk, because I'd been streaming on Twitch for like 4 years. I signed up for Twitch when it was just Justin or Justin TV, okay? And then every single chapter of Skylanders that's been on my YouTube channel was a live stream export, except when it would glitch out on Twitch's end and I'd have to record it from Twitch. Since Swap Force, man. That's Swap Force. Superchargers, Trap Team, and then into Imaginators. The last 4 freaking games, man. And then there's people that have watched my channel for years and they're like, oh, I never knew you streamed on Twitch. Amazing. One of the big issues, I've got some complaints on Twitch. I don't really like how they're trying to constantly push a social agenda, and with that underlying political overtones. But my main thing, out of all the Skylanders games, SSA, Giants, Swap Force, Trap Team, Superchargers, and Imaginators, how many of those have game icons? All 6, right? It's a AAA game from Activision. They're gonna acknowledge it, right? Nope, 1, and it's Giants. I don't know how just Giants has box art, but when I or anyone else is streaming on there, there's no box art. And you're gonna tell me that Twitch doesn't have time to put artwork up for Skylanders Imaginators, a AAA game from Activision, but they've got time to organize all these elaborate days and talk shows and promote all these things. I'm not buying it. So that's why I jumped over to YouTube. I was kind of getting burned out on the Twitch, and I actually would qualify for their little affiliate partnership thing. But again, so many people were like, oh, I never knew you streamed there. And it's just like, really? Really? You know, all these years, man. But I really do like Mixer's interface, which of course it used to be Beam. It's basically Microsoft purchased Beam, you know, now it's Mixer type of a thing. I love their interface. I like it way better than Twitch, and I like it better than YouTube. The consensus I got from viewers was everyone actually prefers YouTube's interface over Twitch, and then people are like, oh, what's Beam? You know, so I will basically be streaming on Mixer and YouTube. I've been trying to stick to YouTube, but again, my problem with that, I stream so freaking late. When I get my free time, it's like 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. typically, and I'm losing the vast majority of my audience, and that's a bittersweet deal. But needless to say, I do have a third Quickshot here. It's Reset Me, and the chat loves this guy, and they won't let me reset him. So now the troll I built to reset is now trolling me because I've got a life crystal with a... He is kind of cool. He does grow on you, but still, it's not like I built him to be this cool quick shot troll guy. No, I just like, okay, I won't care about deleting this. So if you haven't seen Reset Me, check him out. You can find it in the live stream exports, which are in fact on YouTube. Or you can go back to my Twitch channel if you're bent on that platform, but apparently no one is because people didn't know I streamed there. That said, in addition to getting Tidepool and Blaster-Tron, who we'll unbox next, I also picked up 4 other things, we'll say. I'll go ahead and bring one to the table, which we're going to prioritize Skylanders over this. Princess Daisy. Now, if you watch my Mario Kart videos, you know, you're like, what? You hate this? No. I hate Baby Daisy. I hate all the baby characters. I'm not a huge fan of Daisy. But here's my deal. That was $12.99. It's liquidated at $8.97. I don't think the Super Mario series of characters is going to get slashed to $4 like the Animal Crossing ones, okay? So I picked her up because I think it would be cool if you've got all your, amiibos out on a shelf, or you're trying to get the Mario cast and crew. I need to have Daisy there. Even if she's in the back row, even if she's covered up by 3 Waluigis, I need her back there because, that's just how I am. So we will unbox Blaster-Tron next, then we'll get to Daisy. Then I've got 2 surprises for you, so be on the lookout for that. But Tidepool. Seemingly everyone already has her, so let me know what you think of this chick. If you love her, if she delivered the hype, if she was a disappointment. Does yours have a paint blemish here, or does it have blemishes anywhere, or is it perfect? What is stock like in your area? Did your Target never have them either? And you're just like, how does everyone else in the world have this available at Target? Let me know everything about that. If you've got path recommendations, feel free to throw those down there below. Obviously, we'll be taking both. I'll come in, I'll take the path I think I'll like the least first. We'll reset, we'll painfully reacquire the Sky Chi along with the cash needed for path 2. We'll take the second path, and then hopefully I've made the right decision and we don't have to reset her a third time and once again annoyingly reacquire the said Sky Chi. That said, I'm pretty excited to finally have landed these 2. Wish it would have been on sale. It should have been having to wait a month in my opinion, but hey, what can you do? Didn't want to pass on them in the event that they turn out to be incredibly hard to find. And to answer your questions, as soon as I find the Lost Imaginite Mines, I will be picking that up. Very excited. Not only is it an expansion pack, but Robo, who was one of my more anticipated characters, so we've got that to look forward to. That said, oneofwiisdom.com is the website, SkylanderClub.com is the forum. Tons and tons of Skylanders content there, including polls you can vote in. Don't even have to be a member to vote in the polls, so take some time to do just that. You can follow me on Twitter. I will tweet pictures like I did yesterday when I acquired these guys. I will also tweet before I go live, whether it be on YouTube, Mixer, or even possibly Twitch if we have technical issues with the others. But you know the drill. That's what we're going to do. That's our agenda. I might actually come in and wrap up the upgrades we're like halfway through with before introducing these 2, because again, time is a big deal on YouTube, and since I'm like 5 weeks late with these, not by choice mind you, I don't feel any need to rush through this. If I would have found Robo, we would be introducing that man tonight. We'd be going through the Lost Imaginite Mines shortly after that. But again, with these 2, they're out there, they've been unboxed, they've been showcased, they've been upgraded. Probably not to the extent that I go to, mind you, but again, if I would have picked them up early like everyone else, boom, we would have rushed through them. As is now, I'm going to prioritize the characters we're partially complete with. We're going to fully upgrade them down their other paths, then move into these 2, but I always will prioritize the unboxings for you. So be on the lookout for Blaster-Tron, but that said, I will quit rambling. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Keep in mind, E3 going to be going on all week. If you're at home out of school, you want to tune in. Pretty much every part of that is live streamed. If the company, the developer, the corporation, whoever it may be, isn't actually live streaming, there will be somebody on the floor in the media side of things that will be streaming the entire press conference. So if there's anything particular you want to see, just do a quick search. You'll probably be able to track it down. That's it. Pretty excited to have these 2. I'll wrap this up so we can get to Blaster-Tron. As always, thanks so much for watching. I will catch you back here for more Skylanders Imaginators unboxings.